מה נשתנה הלילה הזה? כל הלילות מי כמוך נדר הקודש תהילו מה נשתנה like will never be done. There's more to clean than can ever be cleaned. Grab a candle and search for the crumbs. When the Seder table is ready and all the chametz has been found, our family arrives and the sun leaves the sky. At the table we'll gather around the Seder tonight. Passover retold with our friends of hope, thanking God above. Making threats, Moses, you dare. Your days of making Jews your slaves are done forevermore. And if you challenge God's in place, we'll shake you to your core. I'm telling you, you'd best listen to me, or God will bring your kingdom to its knees. It's time to let my people go, you see, 'cause we just can't wait. For 8 nights and days we're eating the matzah, so put that bread away. We had to hurry from the land we were slaves, so we're chametz free culinarily. I'm eating a matzah, and who doesn't love some good matzah? What's a matzah? Nothing. What's the matter with you? We had to hurry from the land we were slaves, so we're chametz free culinarily. We're eating the matzah and the Seder bread helps us tell a story.
Just around the room. You know that we do this every time there is a tragedy in our nation and the world. And visiting practitioners, thank you. And so let's just have a moment of silence for the events this past Monday in Boulder, Colorado. Knowing that I don't have the answer, however, I know that love is always the answer. And so let's just fall silent. bless this beautiful country. We bless the families of those affected. All of us are affected. Because there's just one thing going on here, and that's God in expression. We also bless the shooter. And so it is.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for surrounding us with love and peace. There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. One more time. There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. You are my reflection. There is only You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Oh yes, I hold you in my heart always. You are my family. You are the face of God. You are my family. You are the face of God.
So if you would, right now, just lower and close your eyes. You know, as I speak this prayer
In the first person, I am speaking for each and every person that can hear my voice. And so I know that there is just one power, one presence, one divine energy that is right here and right now expressing itself in and through all of its creation. It is expressing itself as love, as wholeness, as health, as wisdom, as clarity, as transformation. And I know that as it is expressing itself in me and as me, is expressing itself in and through each and every person that is physically in this room or virtually joining us. I know that the way in which God works is by working through me. It gets to express each and every one of these attributes by means of me and my life, my intentions, my thoughts, my deeds. And so I claim right here and right now that I am love, I am whole, I am complete, I am perfect health, I am transforming. And I'm so grateful this morning to be here at this center that has helped me transform my life and continues to support me in that continual growth and transformation. For the way in which God works is by movement and growth. I am supported and uplifted with opportunities in my life that remind me of this power, that remind me of who and what I am, who I have come to be and express. And I'm so grateful for Centers for Spiritual Living for providing me with the tools and the means by which I can create a world that works for me and then works for all. And so I'm open to the gifts, I'm open to the opportunities, I'm open to the experiences that allow me to express this truth. And I am also, with a heart wide open, ready to hear the message that Reverend Stacy is sharing with me and with each person this morning that reminds us of these truths, that helps us just inch forward ever so more into that life that we say yes to. I'm so grateful for the music of Dave and Patty that always touches my heart. I'm so grateful for the volunteers and for our sound team and our tech team that allow us to have such a beautiful service, whether it's in person or virtually. I know that this center is a blessing, and I know that this center is blessed. I know it is supported, it is uplifted, as it is supporting and uplifting each and every person that aligns themselves with this place. So for all the good that is taking place and all the good that is coming, I just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And with a heart filled with gratitude, I release my word to that perfect action of the law, knowing it is already done. And let it be, and together we say, and so it is.
Oh, Lauren. Thank you for that. I feel so protected when you speak. I do. I feel like everything's just going to be great. Everything's perfect. You know why? Because it is. Oh, yeah. I am blessed. I am blessed. Every day of my life, I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning, you go girls, I lay my head to rest. I am blessed.
Stacy Hilton. And while you're standing, if it's comfortable for you, please say, God bless America and the rest of the world. Give yourselves a little hug. I love the Seder video we found. It's awesome. And you know, any chance that I get, or Reverend Stacy and I get to learn about other cultures, other ministries, other religions, it's always fun. We learn so much. So we wanted to share that with you this morning. Also, we're still in our season of nonviolence. And it is, and this is so tiny, we are on day 58. And it says service. Dr. Martin Luther King said everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. Yes. Actually, that was week 57. But I love that. Oh. Week 58 says citizenship. Robert somebody, former,
Sounds like.
I know, Assistant Secretary General to the UN, all right, urges. Use every letter you write, every conversation you have, every meeting you attend to express your most important beliefs and dreams. Oh, I like that one too.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
All right. So, we're so grateful that you all are here in person, and those of you virtually. We always welcome anybody. This is a safe place, and we want you to know that wherever you are in your spiritual path, you'll always be welcomed here. I see people that I haven't seen in a long time. All right. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Reverend Cheryl. This is a song that I have sung here before. I usually sing a version by Sam Cooke. And today, it's a much better version. Oh. I'm sorry. It's Aretha Franklin. And well, it's Patty Powers' version, but I got to tell you, I really appreciate you turning me on to that, Reverend Stacy, because I was unaware, and that is the truth. There was nobody like her. And after I listened to the song about 150,000 times, there will be nobody like her. So thank you for helping me here. There's an old friend I once heard say something touched my heart, and it began this way. I was born by the river in a little tent, just like that river. I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know my change is gonna come. Oh yeah. He said it's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. Maybe I would
But I know change has got to come. Oh yeah. I went to my brother and I said, brother, can you help me please? And he said, good sister, I'd like to help you. And I looked around, I wrote down on my bended knee, yeah, just when I thought wouldn't last long, no. But somehow right now I know I'll be strong. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Yes. Sometimes I cried all night long. Ooh, sometimes I went what was wrong when I knew it was right. Yeah, sometimes, ooh, I know my change is gonna come. Yeah, yeah, changes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much. That was very little. Aretha Franklin. Thank you so much.
Was all the yelling. Right now.
Now, kicking off Women's History Month on this March 1st, and we want to turn now to Nightline co-anchor Juju Chang, who's going to give us a little history lesson on how it all grew. Now, kicking off Women's History Month on this March 1st, and we want to turn now to Nightline co-anchor Juju Chang, who's going to give us a little history lesson on how it all grew into the celebration we now know today.
It's March 1st, which marks the beginning of Women's History Month, a month-long celebration to honor women's often overlooked contributions to American history, like those of Elizabeth Blackwell, the first woman to officially become a doctor in the United States in 1849. Sojourner Truth, Susan B. Anthony, and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, all leaders in the women's suffrage movement. And Harriet Tubman, who led hundreds of enslaved people to freedom. But what's the history behind Women's History Month? It all began in 1978 with only a week-long celebration. It was organized by the Sonoma County Commission on Women. The week of March 8th was selected to correspond with International Women's Day, which had been celebrated around the world on March 8th since 1911. The movement began to gain momentum, and the following year, other communities and school districts initiated their own celebrations of Women's History Week. Then in 1980, the National Women's History Project lobbied for national recognition, and they were heard, because in February of that year, President Jimmy Carter issued the first proclamation, which declared the week of March 8th as National Women's History Week. 6 years later, the same organization petitioned for an expansion on the event, and in March of 1987, Congress passed Public Law 100-9, proclaiming March as Women's History Month. Now, every March and all month long, we celebrate countless extraordinary women who've earned their place at the table. And the rest, as they say, is history.
It's history.
Good morning. Can we have one more round of applause for Patty and David? That was awesome. That was awesome. I just have no words. You know, I really don't need to do much more. That's why I loved it when I set myself up for success. I love that. Love is the way, and the law makes it possible. Dr. Ernest Holmes taught us that. And for the life of me, when I first started, I'm like, what the heck does that mean? What does that mean? Love is the way, and the law makes it possible. It means we don't have to know the how. We don't have to know the how. So take that off your shoulders. You don't have to know how. How are you going to make things happen the way you want them to happen? How are you going to create the world that you want? Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy March 28th. We've coming out of this thing called a pandemic, and we are now butterflies free, almost free to fly freely. Almost free. We're still not hugging for obvious reasons, but we're close. We're this close. But in the meantime, we are free to start planning our way for what's next for us. Maybe it's getting rid of that COVID-15, 20, 30. Maybe it's that finding that way back to perfect health and getting rid of that 15 code or COVID-15 or 30. Maybe it's a new relationship. Maybe it's seeing old relationships and friends. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Yeah. And we still, no matter how old we are, how young we are, it's still our responsibility to find what is next for us. Anybody know what's next? We've been in such uncertainty for so long. So we've had plenty of time to plan. Anybody planned anything yet? Anybody planned a vacation? I know some people over here. Anybody plan what their next adventure is out in the world? I see Aldo, yeah. It's not too late. It's not too late. That's what we're here for. We're here to express. We're here to live from a place of joy. We're here to do and be and have all the abundance that Spirit is. So what does that look like for you? I don't have your answer, but I know that love is the way and the law makes it possible. This month we've been talking about being open to possibilities. So now that it's a beautiful, seemingly, not summer for us, spring day at almost 80 degrees, and we feel the hustle and the bustle, and the spring break is in full bloom. It's time to be open to what's next. So we've explored this month the practice called visioning. We started off this month with Franny announcing to each of us that she was going to start in ministerial school, which is awesome. I mean, that's just an amazing adventure to begin. I remember that time well, and I remember it fondly. And, in visioning, we also heard from the visioning queen, who, by the way, did her first power talk. Because she was open to the possibility of doing that, even though it's not the most comfortable and natural thing to stand up on this stage and talk about how you personally feel about the one indwelling presence. It just is not. Maybe for some, but not for me, I will say. And certainly not for Miss Juanita up until that moment. And she did it beautifully. She was open to the possibility. Visioning is that place in which we get to have Spirit say, not us say, but Spirit say, what is our highest good? What is our highest good? We get to embrace and we get to release. It's a simple process. Do I do it all the time? I do it for the center all the time. I don't always do it in my own personal life. And I should. I think I'm going to do that more. Anybody want to join me? Maybe we can talk Miss Juanita into leading us in that. We've heard much about this practice. The great Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith made it famous with his book. Now, he didn't invent visioning. You know what I mean? It's been around for forever, but he put the process into, he wrote it out, and so he made it infamous, as Michael is. And so he really brought that to light. And so I need to start off with an apology, and I hope that you all are ready for this apology. But here we go. I could be responsible for the pandemic. True confession. And Reverend Cheryl will remember this when I say it. I didn't share this with her. But I used to walk around my office at Prudential Securities in Beverly Hills when Cheryl was my boss, much to her chagrin. We all know that story. All of you in here know that story. And I used to, when March came around, I used to say, I hate March. Sorry, Reverend Anna, please accept my apologies for using that H word. But there's not much more that I can say on this stage that gives more feeling than that word of hate. There are other words, though. I won't use those, I promise, Reverend Anna. But I hate March was what I would say. Reverend Cheryl, did I say I hate March? Not only would I say that, I said it with good reason in my own mind. This was, how long? 25, almost 30 years ago. But I said it with conviction, and I brought other people in on me hating March. Hey, coworker, Sally, don't you hate March? You know what I mean? What kind of month is March? I didn't know Esther then, it was her birthday. So, and I didn't know Raven. And there's some other people whose birthdays are in March. I'm sorry. I apologize again. But we've got the clock, the change of the clocks, you move forward, right? You have a spring break, which if you're in college, I mean, so cute. You've got a week to party, but you've got to do all of this other stuff in between, and you're too tired to do anything because you studied for exams all this time. You've got, what else do you have? I, personally, my parents got separated in March. Unbeknownst to me, I went on spring vacation, came back, and they're separated. My grandmother passed away in March. The funeral was in March. I hated March. And I was quick to share that with everybody. So, since the pandemic started in March, perhaps I had something to do with that.
No.
I'm joking. We know it doesn't work like that. However, I have enough people to get on board with that, I could have, tipped the scales. So if I had any responsibility in that, please accept my apology. So back to the matter at hand, visioning. In truth, I don't use the practice as much as I would like, and I don't know why I do that. I pray, I meditate, but visioning is that one that I think that it's almost kind of an implicit thing, I don't say it out loud and do it to that extent, but I just kind of know it. I just kind of think to myself, what is Spirit's highest good for me? And I kind of run with it from there. But certainly doing it, and anything you say out loud, the universe hears you loud and clear, and you're going to state it with passion and feeling. So that's going to be an easier way, or a quicker result, perhaps. I continue to do my work on myself. The talk title today is Commitment to Transformation, or Commit to Transformation. If I could have come here once and got what I needed to get, that's what I would have done. We have classes on Tuesdays for a reason, because normally by Tuesday you get home and you're like, what the heck? I felt so good on Sunday for that hour and a half, and ugh. And then you come back for a recharge on Sunday. However, it doesn't necessarily change the neurological pathways enough to get you through to the next thing. The next day, the next moment, the next breath, depending on how your circumstances are falling. I have some slides, okay? The purpose purpose of visioning is not simply about the narrow confines of personal fulfillment. It is an expansion of consciousness into the realization of your true self. Dr. Michael? Visioning is always for self-transformation. It's always to shift our perception of reality. This process goes on forever. We just become bigger and bigger places for it to express through. There's never a time when you don't need to use the practice of prayer and meditation and visioning to do and be and have all of that you want to do, be, and have. Well, not never, but you know what I mean. It's always a good practice. All spiritual growth, 100% of it, is about releasing or eliminating rather than attaining something, because we're already it spiritually. I will never be any more spiritual than I am right here and right now. I can expand my consciousness and my awareness and move into that place where I want to see myself move and do and be, but I'm not going to be any more spiritual. Next slide. Dr. Ernest Holmes, our founder. We are taking, I trust, a vision, something beyond a hope and a longing that the living Spirit shall, through us, walk anew into its own creation, and a new glory come with the dawn. You know, we're talking about this change that's going to come. And as Lauren pointed out, practitioner Lauren pointed out in her prayer, the change starts here. As Reverend Cheryl always says, you know, fixing the mirror really does nothing. I still look how I look until I change it from here, then the reflection changes. And it's interesting how we grow through challenges and events, or we don't. We can choose to grow through them, but they don't stop coming. March is going to be March is going to be March. And I can choose to see March differently, and I can do kind of the science of mind bypass, spiritual bypass, and say, oh, March is good, I'm good. And I've done no work with that, and what does that get me when March comes around again? Ugh, it's March. I could choose to see the beauty, the flower. Oh, I forgot about the allergy season that March brings. Okay, let me shift. So grateful for March, That's my train of thought. Oh, so silly sometimes. But really, it's a constant thing to do the work. There's a commitment to transformation until I'm done on this plane. I am committed to doing all I can do to change me, to use my voice to change others and my heart to change others, for anybody that wants to create a world that works for all. That's what I signed up for. That's what I think I signed up for. I signed up for it, you know, in ministerial school. I signed up for it even before that when I took a pinky swear with Lauren and Dan and Cheryl that this was what we were going to do. And we didn't know it was creating a world that works for all. At the time, we were just looking at individual change. That's still creating a world that works for all. We're part of all, right? So sometimes it stops and ends there. And that's okay. It's okay. Wherever you are, you're fine. You're perfect. But my point is, if I just were to say, from now on, I'm just going to love March. It shifts a little, right? It shifts the feeling that I have a little bit. Shifts my thought a little to where I'm looking out at the bigger picture of what it is and what it brings and the gifts that it brings, the beautiful weather, the butterflies that start to come out. But it doesn't shift it enough, kind of like just coming to Sunday service for most people. It's kind of like a start and stop. Ever been in a car that's happened, like when you first start to drive a stick, and it's like, you know? And it's frustrating and irritating. You start to doubt. You know, if I'm going to put this in second gear, is it going to stall? You start to doubt because you're not in that constant flow of life. So when you get in that constant flow of life and things, you get to fifth gear, you're like, I got this. Now, right when you get to fifth gear, I don't know, if you're driving to San Francisco, and then you've got a hill to go up. You're like, what do I do again? It's kind of the same thing. It's just that feeling of, how do I remember, if I haven't had a challenge in a while, do I remember how I got through the last challenge? Do I have a mental equivalent for what that looks like? Well, there's never been a challenge this big. There's never been a pandemic in our lifetime. How did we get through that? Many of us sitting right here, you were in classes with us. You didn't know how to use Zoom. Remember that? Remember those days? I don't know if I can get on. Remember, Cheryl? I'm not sure. I'm going to try. I'm going to do my best. I don't know. I'm nervous. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. And you got on. You got on. Classes, keeping yourself in on that growing edge, doing that which you don't think you can do is what proves to yourself that you can do the thing that you want to do. Do I have another slide? Yeah, let's move on to the other side. I have come here to be, I'm just going to talk about a few of those. Authentic, loving, and courageous. I've come here to be fun. I've come here to be compassionate. I've come here to be grateful. I've come here to be prosperous. I've come here to be powerful. I've come here to be inclusive. In service, a clear communicator, grace-filled, in service again twice apparently, for obvious reasons. I've come here to be generous. I've come here to be radiant, grace-filled too, twice, and trusting. I came up with those through, Reverend Cheryl and I just finished recertifying as quantum, we changed the name now. We didn't change the name, but the name has been changed, and I think you'll realize why. Quantum living coaches. We're quantum living coaches. Used to be called the Q process. So it's recently been changed. Their name is recently changed. Quantum living coaches. And so what quantum living is, speaking of other possibilities besides visioning and besides spiritual mind treatment and besides meditation, besides some of the other things that you might do, it is a practice where the human side of us that gets triggered. Anybody ever get triggered? Anybody have buttons? Sometimes I feel like my buttons are like sticking out through my blouse or something. And people just, right? But when you get triggered, you are able to move through that trigger and realize the gift in somebody triggering you. Not an easy process. Not an easy process, right? By realizing who I've come here to be, then I know when that which is mine to do when I feel those triggers come about. Because the next slide is going to say who I have not come here to be. Fake, unloving, cowardly, uncaring, living a life of lack, not enough, weak, not enough, complacent, non-communicative, and untrusting. Those are my shadow qualities. And there's more. But those are the ones that I easily recognized that when I was sitting down for a half an hour yesterday, just flowed. And so when I'm being this person, I can't be, can you flip back to the other slide? I'm sorry. I'm triggering him. I'm kidding, Kaden. I can't do both at the same time. I can't be unloving and loving at the same time. So if I can bring my conscious awareness to that which I want to be, who I've come here to be, in my belief, then I'm going to have a better start. I'm going to have a better result. I'm going to be able to see that which, we call it being on your cue card. I guess I'll have to change that name as well. Being on your card so that I am not triggered to be the reverse of that. Does that make sense? Again, not an easy process. What I love about the process is that there's no spiritual bypass. You start with the trigger. You may restate or reframe what happens in the story, but the trigger is still the trigger. I grew up with a mom that is very particular. She likes things just so. You all know my mom. Well, not all of you, but many of you know my mom. And she is very much that way. You guys, yeah. Very much that way. And we have people here that are very much that way. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes her approach leaves a little to be desired, especially as a daughter. Right? It's a bit much for me. A bit much. I know y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about, but I know what I'm talking about. Reverend Cheryl knows what I'm talking about. Follow along. You'll get the message. So I remember that I was triggered way back when in college. I was at UCLA, and most of my friends went to Northridge, and my mom at the time lived in Oakland, and so it was my first year of college, and I was bringing my friends to meet my mom. Fun. My mom was fun. She was young. She was hip. She was cool. She was that mom. Still, very particular, right? So we get my one friend, Stephanie, she has a guy she's seeing, and he lives in the Bay Area, and so she's going to go hang out with him after we have breakfast together. So she had gotten up early in the morning and ran to the store for something. Well, she went out in her curlers. Yeah. Now, for some of you, some of you won't know what I mean. Some of you that are women of color, I will say, or people that have, curlier hair, and you're in the Bay Area, and so you might realize that as soon as you walk outside, the fog is going to hit your hair, and it's going to be a mess. So if you have a date, you probably, don't want to look like that. You just spend God knows how much on getting your hair done, and you want to kind of keep looking nice. So my mom comes in. Stephanie comes in. My mom opens the door. She's like, "What the hell are you doing? You don't leave the house like that." I am mortified, right? This is my new friend. We've just been friends for a little while. We're both Kappa sweethearts at the time. Kappa Alpha Psi. We were sisters to a fraternity. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to be ousted by my mom and her craziness. This is all going through my head, blah, blah, blah. Mortified. And so I didn't say anything. Not a word. I just kind of, we kind of laughed about it. We joked about it. I've thought of that story this week because I had another event that happened that reminded me of that event.
Trigger.
That was my trigger. So in the trigger moment, I was allowed to think of the story and then come up with a new story from that place. What if I would have stopped Mom at the door and said, "Mom, I know she's got a date, so please don't say anything. And if you want to say something, just kind of say it privately to her. Don't embarrass her." Would that have made me feel better? Probably. Because I can't not change my mom. Believe me, I have tried. And I'm going to do my best to not try again, but I might do that. I cannot change someone else. This teaching does not ever tell you, if you find it in the textbook that you can change somebody else, please let me know. But you cannot change someone else. And as a matter of fact, the fact that my mom likes things just so really is a benefit to me. She is that person that shows up with love in the details. She's that person that taught me how to dress up and show up and be all that I can be. And so there really is a benefit to it. However, as the daughter, it can be much. And I've noticed that I attract those same people in my life. Many of them. And I can be that person at times. I'm done with them already. I can be that person at times. So, what's my work? If I want to be authentic and loving and compassionate, let's just focus on those. Perhaps when Mom goes down that path with someone else, Perhaps I should speak up? In a loving, compassionate way. Isn't that my job? If that's who I say I am? The quantum living process is not easy. It's a 21-day process, and you have to write 21 worksheets about all of that, all of those things that trigger you internally and externally. It's work, but I'm willing to do the work because I want to transform my life. I want to make a difference. I can't make a difference if I stay stuck in where I am and where I'm comfortable. It just doesn't work that way. Reverend Cheryl and I will be bringing it here to you. We've never done it ourselves. We always have other people do it because we always have 1,000 other things going on. We're going to be bringing it here this summer. And so if it's something that interests you, please think about it. Please think about that. It's just another tool for your tool belt. And some of you have already done it. You're welcome to come back and take that. But we have our spiritual principles that Science of Mind teaches us, right? Freedom is the birthright of every living soul. Probably my favorite of the declarations of principles. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul. How do I free my own soul? Because nobody else can do it for me. And so I take those tools that I like, that make sense to me, and I use the heck out of them. So I'm not hating March. So I'm not hating any other thing. That really has nothing to do. It's just being March. So, repeat after me. I'm willing to do the work.
I'm willing to do the work.
So I commit to transformation.
So I commit to transformation.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Stacy. I miss my classes. My Tuesdays and Saturdays stink now.
No, they don't. But they're not the same.
I love classes, and
We'll be back.
I'm going to take that one, I think. 21
21 days.
21 pieces of paper. I got to write down all the things I want to change.
Only 21 pieces of paper?
Actually more than that, but.
Okay, great. Well, sign me up. But I do love those classes. I tell you what, it does keep you in. It keeps you in it. Because after here, when we go home after this, we're going to be, we're going to be good. We're going to be good to each other for a while. And then Monday's going to come around. And Tuesday, it's going to go down. So those, the classes definitely help. That is for sure. No, we'll be good all week.
Yeah.
Here's a beautiful song talking about making that change and starting right here. I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right. As I took the car on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind. So give to the street without enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their needs? A summer's disregard, a broken bottle top, and a washed up soul. They follow each other on the wind, 'cause we got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know
I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Na 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 na. Oh yeah. I've been a victim of a selfish kind of love. It's time that I realize you're a song with no home, not a nickel to loan. Could it be really me pretending that they're not alone? A willow deeply scarred, somebody's broken heart, and a washed out dream. Follow each other on the wind, you see, 'cause they got no place to be. That's why I'm starting with me. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make a change. Gotta get it right before you got the time. So you close your heart and you close your mind. That man in the mirror. Oh yeah, I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. Yeah, oh yeah. Na 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 na. Ooh yeah, right here. Yeah, yeah. Na 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 na. Ooh yeah. I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good.
Thank you, Michael Jackson. Thank you, Jada. Thank you so much.
Come on, Patty.
Come on, come on. I didn't do
Come on.
that. Come on.
I know, I kept expecting her to,
You wanted to do it. I know.
I really did. Took
Oh, I'm
everything.
so sorry.
I thought about my mom though.
Let's
so
do
I
it.
didn't.
Let's do it.
I hope she's not watching today.
I hope she is.
I think I saw her on. I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness, thank you for, this is our time for giving and receiving, and and there's so many ways to give to the center. I know there's a text to tie that's on the screen. For those of you virtually, we have a basket in the back. Due to COVID protocol, we're not passing around a basket. We just have one in the back there for you to drop off a gift, and we appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you would say our affirmation with us. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and belief. It does good work in the world and returns to me multiplied abundantly. Oh, and what I know for sure is a change is coming. I'm just so grateful for each and every gift received, for each and every gift given, as I know that it's given with love and from each and every heart. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. And so it is. So it is.
I am so blessed. I
wonderful service. Thank you, everybody. Coffee with the Revs this Wednesday morning at 10:30. Just hop right on Zoom and join with the fun. If you haven't ever done it before, now's your turn. Get on. The Healing Words Book Club will be meeting this coming Wednesday at 4 p.m. to discuss the book The Choice by Edith Egger. So just pop right on there at 4 o'clock. If you've read the book, and maybe even if you haven't, you might want to join in the conversation. We'll never know. If you would like prayer today, we have our visioning queen, Juanita McCoy, who is waiting for you right now to do a 1-minute miracle. And you can either get on Zoom with her, or you can do it by phone. And the phone number is 917-916-9915. And of course, there is no charge, but we always accept love offerings, for sure. And for prayer support throughout the week, you just need to send your prayer request to prayer@LasVegasCSL.org or text 702-524-7096. Our Heart of Peace meditation is going to be in 2 weeks on the 14th at 6 p.m. And our Reverend Mike Horaka from I think I pronounced that right, did I? Well, anyway, Horaka. From Mile High Church in Colorado will be doing the opening with meditation and prayer. And of course, we have our wonderful Karen Jones performing her sound bath. We always can't wait for that. And she's here. You know, you all can come and join us. This is a really wonderful evening. Please, if you can, just come here and join us at 6 p.m.
So peaceful.
It's so peaceful and so beautiful. And the bowls are even better than they are on Zoom when you're here. So feel free to do that. And we will be visioning for our Heart of Peace meditation as a visioning group this week as well. Okay, let's see here. Oh, Patty Powers.
What?
There is a virtual class coming up on April 20th.
Okay, great.
You know, what am I going to do now? Because Daisy, you know, we all need this class. Because, you know, now that we're broken for class, except for Lawrence has one more week after this one, but we won't have class until April 20th. And Daisy is going to be doing a class, and it's going to be called The Law of Mind in Action, and it's by our founder's brother, Fenwick Holmes, Ernest's brother, Fenwick. So this is going to be a wonderful class, Tuesday, April 20th. So mark that, and she hopefully will be here next week. We'll tell you all more about it, so you'll get a better picture. Next week, of course, today's Palm Sunday, so next week is Easter Sunday. And we will be decorating the sanctuary with a few lilies. So if you'd like your own or someone else's name to be read on Easter Sunday in honor or in memory, please just call, text, and let Reverend Cheryl know, and you'll be able to give a love offering for that as well. And don't forget, whenever you order anything on Amazon, go to Amazon Smile, but put Smile first, and then we get a little percentage. And we also have our bookstore open today with lots of gifts and items to choose from. Do we have a CD of today? Yes. We have so if anybody wants to take a CD home so that they can share with their neighbors or loved ones, we can get a CD right after service. Have a fabulous week, everybody.
You too, Kitty. Thank you. Thank you, Kitty. Always having wonderful announcements. I'm taking that class.
Yes.
Thank you. Patty. Okay. Class for me.
It's automatic.
Right.
All right. Oh, hi. I would like to ask our minister prayer team to please come forward. Any visiting ministers or practitioners to please come forward. I want you to see who they are. I know that Juanita is waiting on Zoom for anybody that would like prayer, but these folks are here and will be happy to wear their mask and socially distance and say a prayer with you. Right? So please do not leave with a heavy heart or anything on your mind that can be shifted. Right? Shifted inside of you. All right. I would like to ask Reverend Stacy if she would please give us a benediction.
Yes. So if you would, please just lower or close your eyes. And just take a breath. And breathe in all that love that March brings. Just breathe in all of that glory. This being this beautiful Palm Sunday. I'm just so grateful for each and every person that has walked through these doors this morning, for they allow me to realize my own magnificence by looking into the faces, their very faces, and just see their feel their smiles through their eyes. Feel the love. Feel their joy. Feel their willingness to be a beneficial presence on this planet. And so for that, I am just grateful knowing that each of us is here and committed to transforming ourselves and create a world that works for all. There's such a relaxation in that knowingness that I'm not here to do it alone. I'm here to do this with my brothers and sisters and friends that are the love and the light that I am. And so I'm knowing as I go about my day, this beautiful Sunday, that I just go and I just enjoy. I enjoy the sunlight, I enjoy the warm breeze, I enjoy my relatives, my friends, Sunday brunch, whatever today brings to each. I choose to enjoy life. I choose to enjoy it, and I'm expecting and knowing that there is a change that's going to come that's going to be even better than what this day has already brought. I am open to it, as I am open to all possibilities of a higher, better, greater, grander good in my life. So for that, I'm so much more. I simply say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. And just a reminder, our annual meeting this year is April 18th, Sunday, April 18th. It will be on Zoom as well as in person. We want to get a quorum for sure. Thank you for being here, and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
I know this in my mind.
I know this in my mind.
I feel it in my body.
I feel it in my body.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Woo! What a fun day, right?
Little Justin, I've got this fear inside my bones. It goes electric, baby, when I turn it on. All through my city, all through my home. Flying high, no ceiling when we're in our zone. Got that sunshine in my pocket, good soul in my feet. That hot blood in my body when it drops. Can't take my eyes off it. It's so phenomenally. My life you're waiting for, so don't stop. Under the lights when everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When you move where you already know. Happy birthday! So just imagine, just imagine. And then I can see what you see. Sunshine in my pocket, that good soul in my feet, that hot blood in my body, when it drops. Can't take my eyes off it. It's so phenomenally. I love the way we rock it. So don't stop. Under the lights when everything goes. Nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. Ooh, well, you already know. Come on! Just imagine. Just imagine. can't stop. I can't stop, can't stop, I can't stop, can't stop, can't stop, can't stop. Nothing I can do but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel me creeping up on you when you dance, dance, dance. Oh! All those things I shouldn't do when you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving soon when you dance, dance. Woo! Got this feeling in my body. I can't stop the feeling.
We have come into a time where change is inevitable. And as the world we live in changes around us, there is a place that nurtures you with compassion, love, and brings out your inner strength. At the Las Vegas Center for Spiritual Living, we work to create a world that works for everyone. By sharing both personal and spiritual tools, we can help you navigate through and create a life you love. If mindfulness, prosperity, abundance, and peace are on your list of what you're looking for, come join us and be part of something wonderful. Wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are always welcome here. Join us in person or as live stream on Facebook each Sunday. For more information, visit us at www.lasvegascsl.org.